I am talking about what you need to stop doing if you want to have healthy boundaries this holiday season. So, if you're going through divorce and you have a high conflict ex, or you have toxic people in your life, or you are a people pleaser and you really need to set some boundaries in your life, here's what you gotta stop doing. Okay. The first thing you gotta stop doing is you gotta stop telling other people what to do and how to do it. Boundaries are not for other people, they are to dictate our behavior and to show up in our lives, how we're going to show up in our lives. That's what boundaries are for. So stop projecting on resentment and anger and bitterness onto your ex or onto that sister or onto that toxic person, because that's the number one sign that you need more boundaries. If resentment is coming up for you, that is your sign that you have got to create some boundaries in your life and you really need to shift how you're showing up in your life. Now, how do you do that, right? It's not about telling other people how to behave, what to do, how to talk to you, what to say. It's not about that. Boundaries are about us putting on what we find acceptable and not acceptable for our behavior. So, just to use an example, for example, I will no longer accept phone calls after 8 p.m. I'm not telling anyone else not to call me after 8 p.m. I'm just saying what I will or will not do. I will no longer accept phone calls after 8 p.m. I will no longer listen to this conversation if you continue to use curse words at me. So, those are really the steps to stopping having a really crappy holiday season, because you've got to have boundaries. In order to find inner peace, we have to align with how we are showing up in our life. Okay, so the other caveat to setting boundaries, and this is the really, really, really hard piece, right, is following through. Now, I just got off the phone with a client and we were totally talking about, and again, it came up. First thing out of her mouth was resentment. I'm feeling resentment against my ex. He's not co-parenting. I've got all this co-parenting. I'm taking on all the time. And the truth was, she hadn't really stepped into some boundaries for herself in another area of her life, and she was projecting that onto her ex-husband. But the real deep inner work that we did was reparenting that inner child that didn't feel like her needs mattered. So, as long as you set boundaries, but you don't have the self esteem, the self worth, and that you feel like you matter, your boundaries will always be fluid. Someone will always be able to push back on your boundaries. So, the key to having boundaries that really mean something is developing the self-worth, the self-esteem, and knowing that you matter, that your needs matter. And when you own that, then you can step into boundaries. Then you can hold people accountable, hold yourself accountable to your boundaries, right? No more people pleasing, no more feeling insecure, no more second guessing yourself. You will be confident as fuck as soon as you own your worth, know that you matter, know that you love yourself and accept yourself unconditionally. That's where it really counts. So listen, y'all, I am hosting a How to Find Inner Peace During the Holidays in the Aftermath of Divorce, even with a high conflict ex masterclass coming up. I've got a few tickets still available. It's a very intimate kind of a class. It's not a big thing, but I'm hosting a few people in, and we're going to be deep diving into why you can't have healthy boundaries and what you can do about it. How to stop the second guessing, how to stop the people pleasing, right? Today, tonight, right now. And so if you want a ticket, hop on over to my DMs, just shoot me a DM. I'll get you in there. And again, you can go from feeling chaotic, feeling insecure, people pleasing, feeling triggered every time your ex shows up to feeling total alignment. Just like my client, she's gone from feeling super, super triggered. They would yell in the driveway when her ex's truck would pull up to pick up the son, to now being totally like respectful and like, hey, we're totally cool and we hang out together and we co parent and we share co parenting strategies. So it's totally possible. If I can do it, you can do it. She can do it, you can do it. Trust me. So I would love to have you hop on over. We will see you in a few minutes. Just shoot me a DM. Okay. See ya.